about that. So yeah, this is gonna be the explanation part of the French rework teaser. Depending on if I decided to upload the changes first or not, this is gonna be part one. If not, this is gonna be part two. Where it's basically gonna be an explanation of it, because the whole change stuff, if that comes out first, is basically gonna be the big old change, big old like focus tree, lead portraits, and all that, and events and all that. So this part is just gonna be the explanation of all that, because I felt like I want to do these separately. So if you guys want to see like the meat and potatoes of the whole French rework, you can go see that part. But if you guys want like an explanation as to why French rework was happening, even though it's been like 3 months since this came out, I've been very late on this. My bad, everyone. But let's get down to this from these are from one of the devs. Yeah, these are the French. Straight by flood. Backwards text. I'd like to welcome you to the very first dev dive via the French rework. I'm glad to present more to information regarding our plans. However, we'll change the content correct nowadays, but first we have to address the elephant in the room. The current content is, well, not good, and thus before we could say how we're going to make things right, we will recognize what's wrong. This will be addressing multiple falsehoods, either by accidental misconstruing of beliefs of the individuals represented within the mod, or through mimic misunderstandings spread far and wide. Alright, now it's pleb lore, as well as laying on the ground for the planned total rework of France. Starting off, the first amount degrees but this will be the entire anarcho primitive path, which, yeah, I did a playthrough of that. Yeah, it's pretty fun, but also pretty damn wacky, so I can understand it being removed, and this goes into detail. Quite honestly, it's awful from every single perspective. The so-called value it has based off the complete mimetic value that anarcho primitive is as an ideology. This is solely from the name being evoked, and that is the most base, absolute low-down level of qualifiable value that can exist. Your path has nothing behind it besides empty entertainment, the way to carry you to the extreme online misconception of warping that subjected to. You don't have a path, you have a dead horse being beaten in 70-day increments as well. Ted Kaczynski is not an anarcho-primitivist and never was, so him being referenced makes no sense. The entire path is an overdrawn joke that strangles any form of anti-civil ideology, puppeteers the corpse that it represents. As if it references anything behind either Mark Aguirre, anti-civic thinkers, and anti-take as a whole. It only showed of shame and a blind mind. I welcome to write this stain off a surface. So yeah. It's basically for the endprint path, for the misrepresented, and it was very memey. But yeah, fun. But I can understand why the game movie, because it's a bit too wacky. I mean the red flood stuff is pretty wacky, and that's why I really love it, but at the same time it's clearly is just a joke about anarcho-primitivism. At least that's what it's being known over here. It's in the increments, so. Second part. With the very close second kid, that would be anything related to George Bataille, the extreme heathen. Otherwise known to lead the SFL. Bluntly put, we fucked up. His entire path is a complete misunderstanding of every part of Bataille. But economic to a social view, that's the very rule what the SFL even was. The entire idea is a blend of extreme exaggeration, falsehood, and fabrication. Then again, the code of pain labeled wackiness. It is nothing short of complete disgrace, and it is a shame to even think about. The fact it was put in a complete mistake, and I'm extremely glad people working on rectifying it, in the hope that absolutely disinformation spread via speech was washed away by factuality, questioning the threat of actuality with the true SFL position. George Bataille was not a capitalist anarcho-capitalist, and as long as I stand here, he will never be shown as one again in this mod. So yeah, I was that place on Bataille. I think I mentioned that before. The main reason because it doesn't actually reflect Bataille's actual views. He was, rather than being anarcho-capitalist, he was very, I think he was quite socialist, and only a bit of a hedonist, but not like as extreme as portrayed in the mod. Yeah. Well, at least the current version of the mod until the French rework comes out. But at the time of recording, he's still an extreme hedonite. He's pretty degenerate. I have done a playthrough on that, so if you want to see exactly what that's all about, you can go look that up. But yeah, they're gonna make it more in line with his views, which makes sense. I mean, it's pretty fucked up, but But at the same time, I get it. Because try to not make it realistic, but trying to keep things in line with what the actual people in the mod believe in. So we shall see how exactly that's gonna be. Speaking of reality, I like the creatures upon the dead Idriel, and to a great extent our portrayal of Ed's mental state. As says right now, what you've seen get rated from insulting to just absurd, and not a purposeful way. Well, I can only question the design choice behind it to turn all of society into an extension of himself. But I find that very interesting, actually. Everyone's Lepatron. So we are all the boss. We are all Lepatrons, all of us. I don't know. Like I said once again, we dropped the ball with Boz character action instead of being. Like I probably say this would change and rectify. So then name later is the may stay in the mod. Current organization ideas and these label will certainly be different. I really do hope they keep later Israel. Cause we got that fucking super event for it anyway. So I feel like it would just kinda be a waste to just throw away later Israel. Because I love that super event. That super event is like the super event represents the current mod and or redflood as a whole, but I really like that. Let it be. We're gonna abolishing reality. The unreal state. Never correctly, that's what it means. But hopefully they can keep that in some form. In some this is some way. Yeah. So it's a mobility because I'm probably gonna be doing a lot of playthroughs of France when this comes out. Anyways, on the topic of Toll, I'd like to make a simple statement. Antonio Toll is not Adolf Hitler. Antonio Toll is not Heinrich Himmler. Antonio Toll is nobody but Antonio Toll. Exactly. Now, they are put forth by him and are not in any sense comparable to those of other leaders, no matter how many times people repeat unfunny failed artist jokes. Yeah, I saw a bit of those. The French state that Toll rules over is not in any way compared to the empires of the interwar, whether they be German, Soviet, Italian, or American. While certain aspects of French may be borrowed from our system, both in lore and in American development, this is not some sort of allegorical storytelling. And France is by no means to be a stand for the Third Reich in the redflood timeline, in any way, shape, or form. It's completely separate and unique, self-contained motivation, and quite frankly, still making France into Germany and Germany into Soviet Russia. But extremely lazy and boring game design choice. It's almost insulting to be accused of such. Yeah, this is basically saying the avant-garde France and your boy Le Patron are not meant to be allegories of like the Third Reich, and German Socialist Republic's not supposed to be redflood Soviet Union trying to make their own thing, which is good because the whole ideology of accelerationism, or I think the rework is going to be futurism. That's what it's called. I find it fascinating, so try not to make it like, you know, like some parallel universe or some shit. I like for them to do their own thing. It's very interesting, although failed artist jokes, that's kind of funny, but I find it funny. And there is now fascism. What is fascism? When a Christian movement devotes speech given to the rate and gravity of a totalitarian system, to the values and ideas that shape men into warriors and warriors into tombstones. And today, fascism is a word misused much to the chagrin of myself and many others, as we have seen the Judas and Ascajon pattern for simply as green and fast fascism, respectively. I can say certainly that this is not the goal when designing them originally, and absolutely not the goal in the rework. While a system opposed by this group may be similar to what can be called fascism, the leader might have partaken in such ideologies in real life. No way do they intend to simply give the brown shirts a new wardrobe and transplant them in the redflood. The ideas respected in the redflood are not in any sense an unadjusted surgical placement of real-world ideological values, geopolitical aims, and cultural mores Frankenstein together in some grotesque amalgamation that is to be called objective fascism. We are not aiming to simply vomit up Wikipedia articles. We aim to build a world, and redflood fascism is a bit too 1920s for our taste. Yeah. So. Fascism. I think I remember that. I think the leader, no, not leader, I think it's somebody else. I think popular horror YouTuber Woodstock, I think he coined that term, fascism. I think that's where the misconception really lies in because of him. He did a video like I think like a year, half ago. I haven't seen it in a while. But I think that's where the whole green fast fascism come. I at least know where fast fascism come from. That's reference to Oscar John. Green being Judas. But yeah, they're not meant to be like, you know, fascism. It's supposed to be their own thing. Because, you know, it's futurism. It's, I mean, if I remember correctly from history in Italy around that time, I think the Futurist Party joined the Italian Fascist Party. I think it's been a bit since I've brushed up on that history, but I remember I'm pretty sure they joined the Italian Fascist Party at some point, if I remember correctly. And I have to double check that another time. I also like to talk more about morality. You, the player, are the one who's in the end decides who's the great good, who's the great bad, who falls to the vast sea of grey in between the two. We are not prophets preaching to you about which path to enjoy, coupling your views to your entertainment. We are not grand moral arbitrators deciding who's in the right for every single situation from every single perspective. It is solely in your hands to decide who to support, who to rally against, and from which angle you will analyze the game. Because this is, after all, a game, and it is up to the player to make the choices and players want to make, whether they be driven by their own views or drive their curiosity, or simply want to explore the worst outcome. This is all in your hands, and we will not let take that from you. So basically, just choose what you think you'll have the most fun with, which is what I do. Invest just for like any sort of game, really. When you're playing the game, just choose like the thing that you're most fun at, or it's the thing that will give you the most fun. So, even if it's like, you know, like seeing the worst outcomes or something, it could be fun to see just how bad, shit can get in like mods like TNO or Old World Blues, the Fallout mod for Horizon 4, or some like RPGs out there. So yeah, it's up to you. Decide if you want to just, you know, be good all the time and help out you think is good, or just be evil because they're like, hey, I wonder what this does. Yeah, they just have fun, just like the devs over here saying. It's all up to you. How you make fun. You're fun. Sorry. As I was saying, to forget about fancy to see it, toss aside your preconceived notion of how it exists, trash your critiques and the claims aside. It does not by any invitation, especially via fossilized design, embrace the words that made tinny. Rush forward to the future with past ablaze above all else. Fans, forgive us, for we knew not what we did. So yeah, that's the whole explanation over here. It's gonna be a bit of a short-ish video, not be too long, and I've kind of rambled on about these stuff. This is basically just the dev explanation of why the French rework is going to be happening. Yeah, French dev. So in essence, if this part come out first, it'll be this. It's gonna be. I don't know. I might have this part 1 or part 2. Which one's gonna come out first? They do come out of order. Whatever. I just at least want to split them up so that way you guys can. Sorry. So if you guys want to see an explanation of why they're doing this, you can. If you guys just want to see the meat and potatoes on the mod over here, you can as well. So that way you don't have to, like, you know, skim through the video to find what you're looking for. But yeah, that's the whole explanation, and that's basically it. So I'm the Mad Arse, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.